From Washington, this is VOA News. I'm Christopher Cruz reporting. American and North Korean officials met again Monday at the demilitarized zone to talk about a possible summit between President Trump and North Korean dictator Kim Jong Un. Associated Press correspondent Mike Gracia reports.
The once-canceled June 12th summit in Singapore between President Donald Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong Un could still happen. The latest indication comes from the White House announcement that Trump and Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe plan to meet in advance of the expected Trump-Kim meeting. The White House says Trump and Abe spoke Monday, and they discussed their mutual goal of achieving complete and permanent dismantlement of North Korea's nuclear, chemical, and biological weapons and ballistic missile programs. Meantime, two U.S. teams, one in North Korea and one in Singapore, are working on plans and logistics for a possible U.S.-North Korea summit. Mike Gracia, Washington.
The talks plan to continue through Tuesday, the two sides preparing for a summit that is, for now anyway, not even scheduled to take place. President Trump honored America's war dead at Arlington National Cemetery on Memorial Day Monday, but a tweet he sent earlier is drawing harsh criticism. AP correspondent Ben Thomas reports.
Today we pay tribute to their service, we mourn alongside their families, and we strive to be worthy of their sacrifice.
The tone was solemn at Arlington National Cemetery this morning as President Trump honored those who have fallen in battle or while protecting the nation. But it was a tweet earlier in the day that has critics calling him tone deaf. He wrote, "Those who died for our great country would be very happy and proud at how well our country is doing today," and then cited the growing economy and low unemployment. The self-congratulatory tone prompted a former Joint Chiefs of Staff chairman, retired Army General Martin Dempsey, to tweet, "This day of all days of the year should not be about any one of us." Ben Thomas, Washington.
This is VOA News. The United Nations reports Central African Republic's 5-year civil war is intensifying and has now spread to almost all parts of the country, even to the northern and central regions, which have been relatively stable. Correspondent Lisa Schlein reports for VOA from Geneva.
The United Nations reports once safe areas, such as the capital Bangui and the Central African Republic's second city and commercial hub, Bambari, have become war zones. Aid agencies note the country's critical situation has dramatically worsened during the past year. They say an upsurge in violence has increased the number of internally displaced people by 70% to nearly 690,000 in less than a year. Refugee numbers also have gone up 25% to more than 575,000. Lisa Schlein for VOA News, Geneva.
Zimbabwe's parliament said Monday that former President Robert Mugabe could be jailed if he continues to refuse to appear before a committee that's investigating the alleged embezzlement of billions of dollars in diamond revenues. Correspondent Sebastian Mofu reports for VOA from Harare.
After waiting in vain for more than an hour for Mugabe to appear before the Parliament's Mines and Energy Committee, Committee Chairman Themba Mliswa said lawmakers are running out of patience. This is the second time the 94-year-old former Zimbabwean leader has failed to show up for a committee hearing. The committee is investigating alleged corruption in the country's diamond mining industry. In 2016, Mugabe said Zimbabwe had lost $15 billion from embezzlement. Sebastian Mofu for VOA News, Harare.
Kenyan authorities charged 54 people, most of them civil servants, on Monday in an investigation into the theft of nearly $100 million in public funds. It's a rare move to hold officials to account for graft in a nation where it is widespread. Among the civil servants and business people charged was the head of the National Youth Service, where the corruption allegedly took place, senior accountants at the government agency, and the chief internal auditor at the National Treasury. 20 of the individuals have been arrested. In 2016, the then head of Kenya's anti-graft agency said Kenya was losing a third of its state budget to corruption every year. You can find more on these and other late-breaking and developing stories from around the world around the clock at voanews.com. I'm Christopher Cruz, VOA News.
That's the latest world news from VOA.